Brother Mario, there was a rumor many years ago that there was a song called The Witch's Invitation, and that it dealt with an actual experience that you had encountered. Is that true?
Absolutely true. I was doing a chapel service at ORU, and the guest singer that day was Carman, and he was at the piano, and Oral Roberts was there. Can you imagine? That was a crew that day. And so I was about to preach, and Carman sang a song, and then he decided to stay at the piano. And I began to tell the story of Isaac Bonwitz. He was called Isaac Horowitz in the video, but Isaac Bonwitz is a real person who was one of the only people to get an accredited Bachelor of Arts degree from UC Berkeley with a major in witchcraft. And he had a house with the walls painted black. He had every form of magic, witchcraft, sorcery. And one day I met him on the streets. He had a full-length crepe robe on, crepe velvet, and he was carrying a human skull, and he had a sword.
Well, that stands out.
And he walked up. Yeah, he came up to me, and I was witnessing on the streets of Berkeley, and he handed me his card, and he said, "I'd like you to come visit me one day because I'd like to compare Christianity with witchcraft." So I took the card, and it had strange artwork on it, and I laughed, went home, forgot about it. Then I got a letter, just like in the video that Carman did. And that letter had the decorations on it, and it said, "I'd like to meet with you." And so I decided to crumple it up and throw it away in the wastebasket. And the wad of paper was in the air. God said, "I want you to go." And that's when I went up to his house. It looked like the Addams family. And I went through the gate, went in, and he put me in this overstuffed chair, and he gave me some kind of tea with stuff floating on top of it. And so I avoided drinking it. And then he came out with a massive leather-bound book, and he was talking about all the people that he had cursed, people that he had used incantations, potions, and all this stuff. And then he came in front of the chair, put the leather-bound book, closed it up, put it on my lap, and then leaned on the arms and brought his face near mine, and he said, "What can your God do that compares with this?" And I want to tell you, I got nothing. I had nothing. I was like, I was a blank sheet of paper. And I looked up to God, and I repented. I said, "Lord, forgive me for being an embarrassment." And when I said that, the Holy Spirit came upon me. And God said, "Do not put me to a stupid test." And the devil has as much potential to stand against God as an amoeba has to survive on the surface of the sun.
Come on.
And I sat there thinking, well, then what do you want me to compare? And that's when it downloaded. I looked at Isaac, and I said, I'm not going to compare God and the devil. That's not a comparison. But I will compare you and me. And he looked at me kind of quizzically, and I said, I'm going to compare you and I on the day we die. I'm going to put me in my deathbed, and I want to imagine you in your deathbed. And I said, you look around these walls, and you have made covenants with darkness. You've made so many agreements with so many devils, and they all own markers. They have a right to you. You've given them that right. And on the day you die, they're going to come for you. And I wonder which of these things in this book you're going to say out loud to stop them. And I threw the book at it, literally. And I said, I know what I'm going to say. Satan, you cannot have me. I've been washed in the blood of Christ. I am saved by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony. And he got so angry He backed off and he was grabbing the leather book like it was a security blanket. And he said, "You must leave now." He said, "You got to get out now." And he threw me out. And he had wives. And one of his wives got saved.
Really?
And later, one of Isaac's wives got saved. And she later contacted us and said that was the most terrifying experience of his life. And I love it the way Carman added his own line on the end. He said, "Next time, think twice before you rumble with a man of God." That didn't happen, but it looked good on the video.
That's amazing. I've never known that. It's always been a favorite of mine. And then, of course, you've always been one of my favorite ministers. And to put those two together, it was truly a dream come true. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Glory, my friend.
Yes, to God be all the glory.
That's a total true story.